assume your position on your mats. I've got 3 layers of mats today. It's that Friday feeling. So toes pointing forwards, feet hip width apart. Bend your knees just slightly. Tuck your bottom under, keeping your ribs down, keep your chest open. Tuck your chin, lengthen out through the back of the neck. Let's start with the arms, palms facing up. Nice and slow and controlled, trying to get that nice stretch. Taking the hands out to the side. Good. Imagine that soft piece of fruit between your elbow and your body. Not wanting to squash it or drop it. That's what that's all about. And because it's quite a nice, simple exercise to start with, just taking your hands out to the side, you should be able to think about the rest of your body. So make sure your knees are a little bit soft, your weight is slightly back through your heels, your shoulders are down away from your ears, your chin's tucked, scooping in that lower tummy to draw in and control around there. Squeeze your bum a little bit, squeeze your thighs slightly as well. Good. Now take your hands out, stretch your arms out. Make sure your elbows are straight and you haven't got one arm higher than the other. So take a second to pause there, take your elbows in and hands back together again. Hands out, arms out, stretch, take a second, elbows in, hands together. Good. So your shoulders are down, bottom's tucked under, chin's tucked. Good. And it should feel like quite a sort of spiky, stretchy nerve stretch through the arms as the arms go out. Even think about spreading your fingers. Something like that brings even more stretch into the forearms, which I'm sure there's a lot of you out there feeling a little bit tight through the forearms, through all this home working. Good. On the next one, stretching the arms out, turn the palms down, all the way. So not just down, try and turn them all the way round and back like that, and then all the way up and as far round as you can. So really getting that rotation, keeping the elbows straight, your shoulders down, and even still now, thinking about the weight being slightly backwards through your feet, backwards through your heels, I mean. Good. So that very uncomfortable feeling of stretching, that's the nerves stretching through the arms. Keep thinking about pushing your fingertips out as far as you can. Think about rotating through the shoulder. So the rotation comes all the way from the shoulders. Nice. Just a couple more. Brilliant. Bring your arms down. Cool. So, breathing in, pulling up onto the toes, all the way to the top of the arms, down onto the heels, lock the hands behind your head, drop your shoulders. Let's add the breathing. Breathe in as you lift your shoulders, breathe out as you drop. Breathe in as you stretch up, and out as you come down and round. Lovely. Breathing in, stretching up, all the way onto your toes. Breathe out, down onto the heels, hands behind your head, elbows wide. Breathe in, lift your shoulders. Breathe out and drop. Breathe in, stretch up, out and around and down. On this next one, I just want you to concentrate on the feet and ankles a little bit more. So really pulling up onto your toes using your calves, breathing in. Breathe out, drop onto the heels. Breathe in, stay on the heels, lift the shoulders. Breathe out and drop. Breathe in, really pull up onto your toes. Out and round and down. Good. Stretching up with your right arm, down with your left, bending your knees. Scoop round in a circle with the fingertips. Hands together. To the front, make sure you really curl your back here. And pull your way up tall. Stretch up with the other arm and down. Toes pointing forwards. Round, 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 big circle. Hands together. Good. Down to the front. And curl up. I want some big rolls of the shoulders, so all the way forwards, lift up, round and back, and down. Good. All the way forwards, lift, round, all the way down. Good. And again, forwards, up, round, and down. Take your head over to the side, bend your knees slightly again, stretch down with this hand. You should get that stretch down through the shoulder. Keep your head pointing forward, so it's tempted to look up. Good, and then over the other way. Don't worry about that creak, creak, creak as you bring your head back up again, that's relatively normal. Stretch your fingers down and stretch over to the side. Good. Nice. Come back up. So to warm the legs up a little bit, let's step nice and wide, toes pointing out, bottom tucked under, drop the shoulders, knees out, toes out, squeeze the glutes and tuck under as you come back up tall as well. Brilliant. Good. So making sure those knees are aiming outwards to the sides. Good. You need to have your hands on your legs there, and if you put your hands towards the backs of your legs, you can feel where they're going. As I was talking about, I think a little bit more last session, we have the sense in our brains of where our muscles and our joints are, but sometimes that fails a little bit and we have to look or feel, and that gives us that feedback. Good. 2 more. So the reason for warming up these legs is for this next exercise, and I can't remember, I'm teaching so many classes at the moment, so I can't quite remember whether we've done this one. We've done an element of it, so we've done the RDL, which is this one, which works the hamstring at the back. Now I want to add another element to it, so we're doing like a backwards lunge, and then the RDL. And we keep going, backwards lunge, and then RDL. Now, that backwards lunge is quite interesting because it's a bit easier than you think it's going to be. I hate backwards lunges normally, but if you do it and then go into the RDL, it's a little bit easier. Now, I don't want everyone to feel like they've got to get that back knee down to the floor. It could just be a little sink and then a little bit forwards. So you can minimise this one as much as you feel like you need to. We're going to do 10 on each leg. Okay, so starting left leg back. Backwards lunge, RDL. Have your fingertips on something if you want to. 2. And go at your own speed as well. 3. Lost my balance completely. Everything pointing forwards. 4. Be careful of the back of the leg. Don't sink forwards too quickly. Good. No idea on numbers, I think that's 6. 7, 8. Well done. 2 more. Last one. Nice. Good work. So sometimes surprisingly you feel the back of that leg straight afterwards. So, or a little while afterwards I should say. Other leg. Now it feels like you're going to go back. So I was working my right leg there. Now it's the right leg that goes back. Okay? Back. Forwards. Good. So you question it whether you've used the right leg, the correct leg. 3. Work on that balance. 4. Everything pointing forwards. Allow the body to come forwards on that RDL. Romanian deadlift, it is called. And yes, you have signed into Pilates and not weightlifting. I'm sure I should call it an arabesque or something like that. I think 2 more. Apologies if my numbers are out. hope you enjoyed those. They're suitably horrible for a Friday, I do think. Good. So let's come down onto the floor, standing on the end of your mat. Tuck through your chin and try and peel down. Shoulder blades and upper back first, and then lower back. And then when you get to the bottom, let your arms hang, let your head hang, everything nice and heavy, and bend and straighten. Alternate knees. Pushing your knee backwards, pushing your heel down into the floor, tensing your thigh a little bit, allowing your head and your arms to hang, and breathing in and out a couple of times. Brilliant. Come halfway up and bend your knees and arch your back the other way. You should feel a bit of a stretch down through the backs of the legs there, and you feel the back arch the other way. Curl all the way down again. Breathe. And then go again. Halfway up, bend your knees and arch your back the other way. Brilliant. And come back down. Coming down onto the floor. Good. With the shoulders, drop and lift, or lower and lift, I should say. Take some nice breaths in. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Make sure your knees are underneath your hips. Lovely. Good. Stretch your right arm forwards. Lift, down, in. Stretch it out to the side. Lift, down, in. Stretch back, lift, down, in. And keep going, almost sort of robotic. Forwards, up, down, in. Side, up, down, in. Back, up, down, in. And go again. Everything else strong. So that arm is not doing enormous amounts, but you're having to weight bear and stabilise through the arm that's on the floor, of course. And through your abs as well. So keep going. The last ab, one on this side. Brilliant. Swap sides, and now you feel that that arm's been doing the work. Push down through the other one. Forwards, up, down, in. Good. And you feel some little weaknesses here. They might not be big, but it's quite nice to sort of push into them. Feel so many different alternative movements. Keep working through your abs. These slightly faster movements mean that you've got to really work through your abs to keep your back stable. This is the last time round. Brilliant. Okay. With your right leg, stretch back, and then cross across your body and then out to the side. I want you, this is an interesting and different, I want you to actually feel your back move and rotate or side to side a little bit. So we're not trying to keep all of this still this time. You can use your tummy, but we're actually allowing it to bend and twist a little bit there. It's quite a nice feeling to actually allow it to move. 3. Oh, well done. I'm going to do 10 on each side. It works the glutes on the other leg. Two more. Brilliant. So that feels like it's moving a little bit, but it needs to move the other way as well. So weight bearing strongly through the other leg. Stretch back to start with. Right out to the side and then across the body. So keeping the knee locked strong. And these can be as big or as small as you like, these movements. So you could just carefully practice the small ones if it feels a little bit too much to do these large movements from side to side. I think one more. Lovely. So let's push the body forwards and stretch here, and then come back and sit into the heels. But if you leave your hands where they are you will feel that you're not sitting right back into the heels. You're just sitting halfway and then the shoulders drop. Coming forwards, drop the hips. Coming back halfway and then the shoulders drop down. Good. Last one. Brilliant. And then straight onto our backs today. I'm going to face the other way. I've got to make sure I face alternate ways when I'm teaching these exercises, otherwise my neck gets a little bit sore and I notice. Okay. So all of us on our backs here, tucking through the chin, opening out through the chest. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Breathe in, breathe out, and allow those ribs to sink. Most of us hold our ribs high a little bit as a sign of tension. Drop the ribs down. Find that little arch in the back by rocking backwards and forwards, tucking under, sticking your bottom out, rocking backwards and forwards. Settle somewhere in between. Draw the hip bones together at the front or tighten the pelvic floor. Think about all of those different cues to tighten up through those deep abdominals. Make sure your feet are hip width apart and then lifting and lowering one leg at a time. Good. The only thing about this is a little bit dark behind me. And actually, if I go that way around, you can see things a bit better. That's much better. Good. Brilliant. So scooping in through your tummy. Every time you put that foot down to the floor, you push down slightly into it. Good. Just as my internet connection's dropped out. Hopefully it's back again. You might not have seen anything, but I got a little message. Scooping in. So let's move on to the next level of this exercise, which is scissors. We're going up, up, down, down, keeping this bit strong. You will notice if you haven't got this bit working 100%, because you will bulge out through your tummy when you pick up that second leg. Up, up, down, down. Good. Now I want you to swap legs. Other leg lift first. Good. It should be all nice and seamless, and you should be constantly thinking about keeping those ribs down, chest nice and open, chin tucked. And your breathing should be nice and relaxed into your lower outer lungs. Good. Okay, brilliant. Give the legs a little shake. The handy thing about moving up through the exercises, which I've done for a few sessions recently, is that you can stick on the level that you're happy with. So that may be the level that you stick to. The next one is both legs up, tapping the toes down, like that. So drawing in through your tummy, knees are above hips, toes are in line with your knees, tabletop, of course we call it, and tap and lift, tap and lift. Some people start to tap too close to their bum, which means all you're doing is really bending your knee. Make sure you tap far enough away, and if you think about that angle, that 90-degree angle of the knee, staying at 90 degrees of the knee. Good. I like to bring angles into it. Scientific brain. Brilliant. Keep going with those, and then we're going to speed it up because level 4 of this exercise is just fast. Good. But you feel how this bit has to work a little bit differently to do these fast movements. 3, 2, 1. Bringing the legs down. And then just sink into the mat for a second. Allow yourself to relax there. And then the next level of this, both legs up, tummy in, crunch, stretch out with the left leg and stretch the arms to this position on the other. So along the bent leg, swap, swap. Oh, I've got the exercise wrong. This is one leg stretch anyway, nobody minds. It's just a matter of getting it done, isn't it? Good. Keep the tummy scooped in. Stay in your crunch. Good. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. 3, 2, 1. And come back down. Have a nice deep breath. I always believe getting that oxygen into the muscles is a good thing before you start the next set of exercises. So, tucking your chin, open your chest, ribs down, arch in the back, tighten the pelvic floor, and lowering one knee sideways and up, keeping these hips level. Thinking about headlights on the front of the knees, hips, sorry. And as the leg goes out to the side, I feel this stop here. What you've got to do is embrace that stop. If I was to keep going any further, I'd have to rotate my hips. So that's what I mean by taking the leg as far as you can before the hips want to rotate. And don't worry that that feels stiff at the end of the range there. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're stiff. That means that that is where that joint stops. Having said that, anyone wanting to stave off any hip arthritis, hip mobility is very important. So hip stretches, very good for you. That's why I often concentrate on those at the end. Good. Okay, now knees and toes together. So pin the knees and the toes together. Keep that good position in there. Now I like to bring the hands up to the ribs, taking the legs over to the side, picking up the hip, and draw back to the center. Pick up the other hip, keeping the ribs down, and pull back. Notice my knees stay together, and therefore the feet stay together. So you end up picking one foot up. Let me take these off. Cool. You end up picking one foot up and down, and pick up the other foot. Good, because that moves as a chunk. Cool. One more each side. Good for mobility, but also good to keep this strong. Lovely. Okay, legs are coming back up to tabletop again. We're keeping them apart for now, there. And we're taking one leg out and together, and the other leg out and back together, keeping those ribs down, tummy in, shoulders away from ears. Toes pointed if you like, although I'm not one to be too fussy about that. You could have your toes up if you do prefer. It does feel different. Feel how it sort of changes the sense through the rest of the body. Good. 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees in, just to stretch off the back a little bit. Good, good. Legs back out to tabletop, and I choose sometimes to have the legs pinned together or apart for this one. Let's today have them apart. Hands on ribs, rolling over again to the side and back to the center. If you struggle with 2 legs in tabletop, why not bend your knees, but have your knees still above the hips and roll from side to side. That just shortens that lever. Again, that scientific mind. So you could have your legs out. And again, if you're struggling with the legs apart, it's a little bit easier with the knees pinned together. So make your choice. I teach these sessions, I give you the ideas, but really make your choice of what level you feel you can work your hardest at without having to stop halfway or without causing any pain. One more each side. Brilliant. Bring your knees in. Good stuff. Okay, so we're sliding one leg along the floor. Assume your good position with the arch, the ribs down, the chest open. Slide a leg away. And this time I want you to pull your toes up to get the stretch at the end of the movement. Push your way so you can see that. Brilliant. Slide away, pull your toes up, and then come back in. Push the other leg away, pull the toes up. So you're getting a nice benefit of a stretch down through the back of that leg as you stretch the leg away, but also you need to be keeping this bit nice and strong and pushing down through the leg that's on the floor. So this is level 1 of your one leg stretch. When I was taught Pilates, we had to tell everyone exactly what exercise, what level it was. It makes for quite a boring Pilates class. Good, last one. Okay, right leg to tabletop, stretch away, back in and down. Other leg, tabletop, out, in, down. This is the more familiar one. Keep strong through your abs. Keep your hips level. When you place your foot down, place it down strongly and push down into it a little. Good. Keeping that chin tucked, chest open. And your breathing relaxed. Good. One more each side. Brilliant. Okay. 2, tabletop. This is where it gets hard. Drop the ribs down, scoop in the tummy, tuck the chin, stretch and in. Now we're slowing this one down today. I want it really nice and controlled. Push out, tighten the thigh, pull back in. Push out, tighten the thigh and back in. Keep your tummy strong. Keep working the other positions. Brilliant. Keep drawing the ribs down and drawing in, closing this bit, keeping that arch in the back. One more each side. Brilliant. And come back down. Good work. Because I taught you the wrong level 5 on the exercise before, let's do scissors level 5 now. So it's crunching, draw in, bring both legs up to tabletop, hold on behind your left leg, stretch up the left and out with the right. Back in, stay in that crunch, swap, out and in. It's nice to do it slightly slower like this than I often do. That bottom leg goes along the floor. You could, if you struggle with this level, tabletop and just bring the foot down to the floor like that. So that could be a slightly less challenging level. For those of you who are happy, bring that leg out. Four more. 2, 3, 4. Brilliant. Bringing the legs down on the body. Good. Have a little rest there. So a change is as good as a rest. If we move on to a bit more glutes focus, if you bring your heels close to your bum, tucking under, pushing the knees away, curling up, and then curl back down. So really focusing on the movement, tucking under, flattening your lower back, trying to peel up one vertebra at a time, keeping the ribs down to the last minute, and then they push and lift a little bit. And then the ribs go down first. Ribs, 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 curling, 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 the rest of the back. Good. And then going again, tucking under, curling up, pushing the knees away, squeezing your glutes, keep the weight through your heels. And then the ribs down first and curl back down. On the next one, we're going to stay at the top. So curling up, stay at the top. And I want you to let go of one bum cheek and squeeze. We've done these before. Let go of the other bum cheek and squeeze. You do let the hips rock, drop and lift, but it's only one side that drops and lifts. So you can think about it letting go of one bum cheek and squeeze, or you can think about more of a drop and lift, drop and lift. Difficult to do, but worth it. Muscles, it's just as important to be able to squeeze them and work them as it is to be able to relax them at times. Good. 3, 2, 1, and curl back down. So the back may feel it a little bit. It's good to rock a couple of times there. Good. And knees and toes together, rolling the knees as well from side to side. More of a relaxed version of that exercise, just to release off the back slightly. Good. So with your heels close to your bottom again, tuck under and curl up. We're going to stay at the top again, and we're going to come onto the toes and then the heels. It's difficult to go onto the heels, so don't worry too much that you're not going to lift very far. Toes, heels. Let's try and do 20 of these. 3, 4, squeezing and tucking under. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10 if you can. Go down at any point. My feet are walking away from me. That is quite normal. 2 more, I think. No idea. Go back down. Well done. Give those legs a little shake. They are pretty difficult. So like I say, a change is as good as a rest. So just by doing a few of those glutes exercises, hopefully that just took a bit of pressure off the abs briefly, because we are going to do another abs exercise. So I would like you to crunch, keep your elbows wide, squeezing in your tummy, and then lower back down again, crunching. And I want you to really think about getting as high as you can, and then pushing that tiny little bit more. Good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Well done. 10. We're going to lift the right leg up and continue to crunch. So with these crunches, you know what you're doing. We're going to do another 10 with the right leg up and another 10 with the left leg up. So off we go. 1. Trying to push at the end of the range. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well done. 8, 9, 10. Swap sides. Other leg up. 1, 2, 3. Getting tired yet? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. It can be a little bit hard on your neck, even if you've got your head supported with your hands. So let's just roll the head from side to side. Full movement there. Rolling from side to side. Good, good. And then the next one we'll do without the neck lifting, and then we'll go back to it again just to give it that rest. Arms up in front of you. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears and straighten the arms. Bring your legs up to tabletop, and we'll do the dead bug. So for those of you who struggle with both legs in tabletop, you may have one leg down on the floor and repeat on the same side, which is exactly what we're going to do here. Repeating. 1. Squeeze in your tummy. 2, 3. Look after the leg that's still. Keep that one really strong. 6, 7. Straighten the leg all the way. 9, 10. Straight into the other side. Those of you with a leg down, swap. Good. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great work. Bring your knees in. Lovely. Feet on the floor. Hundreds. Bring your head and shoulders up. Stretch your fingertips down towards your toes. Tighten through your pelvic floor, draw in through your tummy, and up and down. Those of you who truly do have neck problems, I always find these hard, just do them with your head down. Level 1 of hundreds is with your head on the floor. Feel how that still works your tummy. It's quite interesting. For the rest of you whose necks feel okay, we can be up here. Remember the breathing. Breathe in for 5 and out for 5. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. Last 10. Right hand behind the head, make sure you support it, crunch a little bit more, and up and down with the left hand. Remembering the breathing. And out. In. Out. And swap sides. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Brilliant. Well done. Okay, so we're going to turn onto our sides to do a few glutes. Not that we haven't done a few already with those shoulder bridges, but anyway, onto the elbow. Push yourself up out of the elbow. That kind of rocks you on your hip. So if you see the hip there, that rocks the hip a little bit and lifts up this side. Always want you to make sure you tuck that bottom hip back. Feet are together. I always need to make a little adjustment. I think that elbow needs to come backwards. That makes it easier for me to lift that leg. Good. So squeezing in, hand on that top hip reminds you of where it needs to stay. Good. And drawing in through your tummy. Brilliant. Relax your shoulders. Oh, apart from that one, don't relax that one. Keep that one strong. Relax that one. It's sometimes what Pilates is all about, keeping one part of you strong and the other part relaxed. Good. 3, 2, 1. Feet up. Go again. Breathing. Lovely. Bottom leg down. Stretch out the top leg, stay strong through here, and we're just going forwards and backwards. 2, 3, keeping strong. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. Brilliant. And down. Other side. Hopefully I'm going to leave enough time to do a few stretches at the end. Up on that elbow, pushing up out of it, the shoulder relaxed, tuck the bottom hip back, lift through the waist here as well. I like to walk that elbow back, I think, every time. Brilliant. And lifting that knee. So you find your own little adjustments, and usually it feels right. It feels like you can do the exercise without too much twist on your body, and you're feeling it in the right place. That's what it's all about. And it's normal that the second side you're going to feel it harder because you've had to work the underneath side on the last set. Good. Feet up. Go again. This feels twisted. It feels like you're really closed down in the top half. Keep breathing. Brilliant. Lovely. Bottom leg down, top leg straight, and now forwards and backwards. Make them smaller if they feel too much. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. Brilliant. Good. Into stretching. So sitting up, crossing your legs. Sometimes just sitting up tall with your legs crossed there is enough for those glutes to stretch them out after a few of those glute exercises that we've just done. But you can allow your body to come forwards a little bit whilst keeping your chest high. Good. And then just coming from side to side as well. If you're somebody who prefers to come all the way down, then do. Whatever works. Brilliant. Legs out into a V. Leggings up. Good. Stretching the arms straight up. Rotate. Come down as far as you can to that side. Toes maybe. Good. Stretching up, rotate, come down to the other side. Everyone feeling these adductors, the inner thighs? It gets tight. Whether you're exercising strongly or whether you're sitting too much, it's always a muscle that gets tight. Brilliant. Coming out, take your time to get into like a press up position and then step your right leg forwards. You might need a couple of steps to get it there, and you can have your back knee down on the floor, so make your choice. You can vary it. Stretching up with that right arm and down towards the floor with the elbow. 1, up and down, 2, 3, 4. Good. Swap sides. Step that leg back. Step the other one forwards. Good. And again, stretch up. 1, 2. Nice rotations. 3, 4, 5. Nice. Coming down onto your front. Bending one knee. Holding on behind the foot. Hopefully. Tucking the bottom under. Keep your knees together. Pull the heel towards your bum. Good. It's a bit of an indicator of back pain, actually, how tight quads are. So if anyone's suffering with back pain, stretching through the quads is a good idea. Good. And swap sides. Tucking your bottom under, keeping your knees together. Good. Lovely. Coming up. Stepping one leg forwards like this and sinking back. You can come all the way back if you want to. It depends what your knees are like, to be honest, and your ankles. Actually, sitting back on that ankle can be unpleasant. So just going halfway is quite nice here. And point and flex the toes. If anyone is tight through their hamstrings today or tomorrow, it'll be that first exercise that we did in standing. Good. Now swap sides, other leg forwards. Good. And once you've got your position and you've got your stretch, point and flex again. Breathing. Great. Hands and knees, and let's just drop and lift a few times. Just feels quite nice too. Good. 2 more. Turn your toes under, stretch your bottom up and sink down into your heels. Think about your armpits going towards your toes and then bend and straighten each knee. Good, squeezing in your tummy. Great. And walk your hands to your feet. And then hang there briefly, allowing your arms and head to go heavy, breathing in and out. Have a little wiggle. And then curl back up. Well done. Thanks for joining me.